So Mark Hamill just proved to everyone who has been following this Gina Carano situation, the mainstream media, the general public, anyone who knows about the Gina Carano situation and thought that Gina Carano did nothing wrong, Mark Hamill just proved you right. Mark Hamill just 100% proved that Gina Carano did nothing wrong. Let's check it out. If you enjoy videos about news like this, then please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I try to post multiple times a day on this channel. Let's get into the video. So yeah, Mark Hamill just did something on Twitter. He just posted something on social media that, for one, is just pretty insane. We know that's kind of par for the course for Mark Hamill. For me, Mark Hamill is the definition of separating the art from the artist, because I think that outside of politics, not only is he good as an actor, but outside of politics, in social media and social settings in general, he seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good guy, someone that I would like to be around until his TDS starts kicking in, until he starts talking about political things, and then he just becomes a complete lunatic. You know, he goes crazy on social media a lot. He shows his true colors, especially when he starts talking about politics. And like I said, he has extreme TDS, but that doesn't change the fact, that doesn't give him an excuse for what he tweeted recently, for what he put on social media recently. Not only is it absolutely insane what he's doing on social media, which, you know, like I said, is par for the course, but he also proves that Gina Carano did nothing wrong and that she shouldn't have been fired. And if she should have been fired, if that is the stance that Disney is taking, if that's the stance that Lucasfilm is taking, then Mark Hamill should also be fired without question, you know, and so should Pedro Pascal and a lot of other people who have done pretty similar things to Gina Carano. And I would even say maybe this Mark Hamill thing isn't way worse than Gina Carano's, but the stuff that Pedro Pascal said in the past, and I don't know if he said anything recently, but the stuff that he said in the past when his TDS kicks in, he said stuff way worse, miles and miles worse than Gina Carano ever said. But here's what Mark Hamill said. This article is from Bounding Into Comics. Mark Hamill mocks new Donald Trump cards and compares them to In Germany. Obviously, I'm not going to say this word on YouTube because you know how YouTube is, and I probably will try to stray away from this name as well. I'll just call him our former president. Star Wars icon Mark Hamill mocked our former president and compared him to In Germany following the release of 4 former president card designs. As first reported by Business Insider, the Political Action Committee Save America sent out 2 emails asking readers to choose between 4 designs for our former president membership cards. In one of the emails, Save America explained, "We recently met the president in his Florida office and showed him 4 designs." It added, "Originally, we were planning on releasing just 1 design, but when our former president saw the cards on his desk, he said, these are beautiful. We should let the American people decide. They always know best." As you can see, 2 of the designs featured an eagle, one with the American flag and one with just a plain red card. The design with the American flag also misspelled the word official. Let me see if I can find, yeah, this one right here. Obviously, it is a pretty bad misspelling, especially when it has our former president branding all over it. It's a bad look for sure. Jumping at the misspelled word and of course, you know, people like Mark Hamill are going to jump all over that. It's a pretty it's a childish mistake, but at the same time, to point it out and say that this somehow makes these cards illegitimate and stupid and all these other things, and you know, obviously he said way worse stuff than that as well. We'll get into that in a second, but to just jump all over that is a very childish thing to do. But that's Mark Hamill. The TDS kicks in. He can't handle himself. Jumping at the misspelled word and the use of an eagle, Hamill took to Twitter to mock our former president. He wrote, "It's not an official former guy item unless it contains at least 1 misspelling and or Third Reich imagery." Here is a tweet from Mark Hamill himself where, you know, obviously it's just proof that he said what I just read out loud. He did say that he made fun of the official card, but also he said that, you know, it has Third Reich imagery in it, which is probably way worse, I would say. He's done this multiple times in the past as well, comparing our former president's supporters to Yahtzees. I can't say the word, but you know what word I'm referring to, the word that starts with an N and it rhymes with Yahtzee. He compares them to each other all the time, and so does people like Pedro Pascal, so do a lot of other Disney and Lucasfilm actors, but they have absolutely 0 repercussions, literally proving what Gina Carano said when she got fired, but I'll go into more detail on that in 1 second. While the Third Reich and Nazi Germany used eagles, the United States of America was using this symbol long before Hitler was even born. The United States Department of Veteran Affairs explains that the bald eagle first appeared as an American symbol on a Massachusetts copper cent coin in 1776. They went on to add, since then it has appeared on the reverse side of many U.S. coins, notably the silver dollar, half dollar, and the quarter, as well as the gold coins, which were christened the eagle, half eagle, quarter eagle, and double eagle. By 1789, after a 6-year debate in Congress, the bald eagle would be chosen to be part of the United States national emblem. This symbol is all over everything. I don't understand Mark Hamill's argument here. I mean, yes, it was also used by certain people in history that I don't want to say their names too often, but you know what I'm talking about. The Third Reich and Yahtzee Germany, they used eagles as well. So of course, Mark Hamill, whenever this is on Trump stuff, whenever it has our former president branding on it, of course it's not going to be okay. But if anybody else were to use this, if anyone that he supports politically were to use this symbol, it would be, yes, go America, all you know, all positive stuff from Mark Hamill, but whenever someone that he doesn't like uses it, of course, it's a Third Reich symbol. It's a Yahtzee symbol. That's how these people operate. That's how these people with TDS work. And I'm never going to take a political side on this channel. I really just don't care that much. All I care about is everyone having the right to freedom of speech. And it just seems like people in Hollywood, they don't have that right. And if they have a certain view on politics, only people like Mark Hamill and Pedro Pascal, who are radically left, have that right to freedom of speech. But when it comes to people like Gina Carano, there's an obvious lack of care for their freedom of speech. Let me move this article over a bit. It looks a little weird, but here's an article from Forbes that says Gina Carano fired, cancel culture victim, or is this just Jedi karma? And we all know the story about what happened here, but I do want to just go over her Instagram post that did get her fired officially, because I think that they were trying to get rid of her for quite a while. But here was the Instagram post that apparently was so awful and so offensive to Jewish people and all this other stuff. Here's what Gina Carano said in her Instagram post. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by end soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where end soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first had made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that different from hating someone for their political views? To me, this is nothing. To me, this is nothing. Obviously, whenever you use those words, whenever you use that terminology, a lot of people are going to get very sensitive. A lot of people are going to get offended simply because those words are coming out of someone's mouth. And especially when you're someone like Gina Carano, who is very hated in the very extreme woke mob on Twitter and the very extreme leftist mob on Twitter. She's already hated. So whenever she uses those words, whenever she uses those terminologies, even though it's not offensive at all and she doesn't mean it in a malicious way, it didn't even come out in any way that could really be interpreted as malicious or hurtful to any of these people involved. But because she's using those words, because she's using that terminology, they just used the opportunity to jump on her and to accuse her of doing things that she obviously didn't do. But whenever Mark Hamill speaks like this, it's no problem. Whenever Mark Hamill compares former president supporters to Yahtzees, it's no problem. Nobody jumps on him. Nobody really cares. He's obviously not going to get reprimanded by Lucasfilm, by Disney. He's probably going to play Luke Skywalker in future Star Wars content, and no one will bat an eye. But whenever Gina Carano just makes a comparison, and she doesn't even say any side of politics is being mistreated, she just compares anyone being mistreated for their political views on any side is no different from what they did back then in Yahtzee Germany. But like I said, because she used that terminology, even this happened. Cara Dune action figures canceled by Hasbro as Gina Carano exits The Mandalorian. If you look at the dates on here, I believe this one was written on February 11th. Yeah, February 11th, 2021. This article was written on February 13th, 2 days after she was fired. All of her toys, even the orders that were already put out for Gina Carano for Cara Dune toys, were canceled. People couldn't even get their orders filled that were already put out because that's how much Disney and Lucasfilm wanted to wipe her from the map. They were so mad at her for posting this Instagram post, which is not even there's nothing compared to what Pedro Pascal and Mark Hamill post. They wanted her wiped from the map. They wanted her not affiliated with Disney anymore. They wanted it to seem like she was never affiliated with Disney or Lucasfilm in the first place, so much that they canceled her action figures immediately, even the orders that had already gone out. Now they're kind of going back on this whole situation. Now they're, uncanceling her Bear Grylls episode. There's a lot of toys. There's a lot of merchandise popping up in Walmarts and even in Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida on Disney World property, which is pretty crazy in itself. But really what this video is about is Mark Hamill proving Gina Carano right. And not just Gina Carano, but everyone on YouTube, everyone in the media that have been saying this, that have been trying to say that people with certain political views do not have the right to freedom of speech when it comes to Hollywood. If you say anything that's out of line with the extreme leftist propaganda that is being pushed in Hollywood, you will be reprimanded and probably most likely blacklisted like Gina Carano is. I mean, she's kind of working her way back in because I think that Disney is realizing that not only are they losing money, but they're also missing out on potential money by not having Gina Carano around. But Mark Hamill will never even, like I said, no one's going to even bat an eye at this, not only at Lucasfilm or Disney, but no one in Hollywood. He's still going to get cast in a lot of voice acting roles because he is a very good voice actor. He's going to be getting those roles all the time. No one's going to bat an eye at this. No one's going to attempt to blacklist him. No one on the right or the left will try to blacklist Mark Hamill because that's not how things should work. But if someone like Gina Carano were to say anything involving these words, even though it's not offensive to anyone involved, she gets blacklisted immediately. She gets fired. She loses her job that she's been working her ass off to get. So let me know what you think about this whole situation. Let me know what you think about Mark Hamill proving Gina Carano right with these idiotic tweets, with these idiotic statements that he's been making on social media. Let me know what you think about the whole situation. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link to that will be in the description as well. And also, we are doing a charity stream on Friday, the 13th, August 13th at 8:15 p.m. Central Time. The charity stream will be for St. Jude Children's Hospital. So please, if you ever wanted to leave a super chat or donation or anything like that, save it for Friday and come stop by the stream. The stream will be on my channel, obviously. Hope to see you there.